In this video, I'll show you how to make a combination chart, which actually can combine two or more chart types together to make data easy to visualize when it's on different scales. For example, if I wanted to show from years 1 to 10 how the number of backpacks produced and sold changes, as well as how the net income changes, we would need two completely different scales. So we're going to make a combination chart to do that. Starting in the projected cash flow worksheet, I'm going to select the non-adjacent range, A4 down to K5 first. And then if I scroll down, I'm also going to select those net incomes. That's in A26 to K26. Remember to hold down Control to select a non-adjacent range. There we go. Now that I have everything selected, in my Insert tab, I'm going to press the Recommended Chart button. All charts at the top is what I'll select next, and then scroll down to Combination. I'm going to do a Custom Combination. That's this option right here. I would like to show the number of backpacks produced and sold as a line chart, show how that changes over time. So I'll select this line chart option. For the net income, I would like to show how that changes over time as a bar chart. So we can see when it is less than 0 clearly and when it is greater than 0 clearly. To make this actually make any sense, we're going to have to add a secondary axis. So, for example, the dollar amounts of net income are shown on the left and the number of backpacks sold are shown on the right. Again, a combination chart is necessary because these are measuring different things. I'll press OK, and there's my chart. Again, we would like to move this into the financial summary worksheet. You can either copy-paste or use the Move Chart option, now that we've learned how to use both. I'll drag it down, press Alt, and lock it in right under the cash flow chart. Again, I'll hold Alt to resize it so that it takes up all of column L. To make this chart easy to read, we're going to have to do a little bit of formatting. First, I'm going to click the title and start typing in sales projections. That's what I'll call the chart. Whoops. And press Enter. I'll format it the same as before, which is in my green color, size 16, and Calibri Light font. This time, I'm also going to change the way the chart looks a little bit. I'll remove the legend, and then I need to add in some labels for the axis to make it clear since the legend's not there. So I'll select the axis title box, and then I'll get a title that appears on both sides. Another thing I'm going to add in is more grid lines. If I go to that option, I can add a primary major vertical line as well. Making it look in that box format like on grid paper will make it easier for us to see the different changes. Going back onto the chart, I'm going to click on the first axis title. On that side we have dollar amounts, so I'm going to label it net income. When I'm done typing that, press Enter. On the other side we've got a number of backpacks, so for that secondary title, I'm going to call it packs sold. Then press Enter. Packs sold is facing away from the chart, so to make it more visually appealing, I'm going to rotate that text by clicking the orientation option. There we go. I'll click on the X-axis title and press Delete to get rid of it so that we have more space. Color can be used to help us clearly tell apart the two different types of data. If I click anywhere in the chart area and go to the Format tab, I'm going to change the main background to our same green color as the other charts. Change the chart title, change the plot area to white. There we go. If you click on the axis titles, net income is represented by the orange bars. So if I go back to the Home tab, I'm going to put that font in my dark orange color. And I'll do the same thing for the values on the y-axis. On my secondary axis, I'm showing the packs sold. That corresponds to the blue line. So I'll put those in dark blue to match the blue line. Then it's more clear which axis is keeping track of what data set. It makes the plot a lot easier to read. The last thing I'm going to do is rescale the axis so that it makes more sense. It's quite easy to change what numbers show up on an axis in Excel. All you have to do is double click on the axis you want to change. And in my case, it's the secondary axis. My Format Axis toolbar appears, and I specifically want to focus on the axis options. You can change the bound, that means where you start and end, as well as the units, that means how much you count up by. In this case, I'm going to change the minimum to negative 10,000. Press enter and your chart will update. That way, you see that the backpack sales don't start at a negative number. Before, when the backpack sales started around the same amount as the net income, it started down here, it was a little bit misleading because income can be negative, means you lost money, whereas the number of packs sold can never be below 0. So by changing that lower bound, it makes sure our line is always above that 0 mark. And this is our properly formatted combination chart.